A dishonour to Meghan over Charles' coronation ban at last minute after hurtful attacks on the royals. A big storm is brewing in the royal family, with King Charles ready to ban his son and daughter-in-law, Harry and Meghan, Duke and Duchess of Sussex, from the coronation. It's one thing for Harry to attack Charles, he can take it on the chin, but if Harry forces him to choose by laying into Camilla in his book, I have no doubt he'll choose Camilla. Sources in the palace say simply that the question of the guest list is on the TBC pile, pointedly leaving the door open for Harry and Meghan to get the call up or be excluded. That's a magnitude of damage that I have no idea how the palace could ever begin to counter. Over the years, Meghan has rebranded herself so much that no one knows her true self. Her need to show the world she's not the vindictive, vengeful narcissist that she genuinely is revealing another issue she has. Ever since their royal exit, to say that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's relationship with the rest of the royal family has been strained would be a massive understatement. Oh, and then there are the interviews they've done. Since her step back as a senior working royal, Meghan Markle has engaged in a number of interviews with American media outlets, which have generated fierce controversy among royal commentators. The Oprah interview was desperately damaging to any relationship that Harry could ever hope to have with his family. Royal expert Richard Fitzwilliams has suggested the Duchess has been threatening the royal family with some of her latest revelations. Despite the previous fallout, Meghan has pursued further media exposure in her latest interview with Variety, published in the wake of the Queen's death. Markle talked about the Queen's funeral in her interview with Variety. She said it was a difficult time and even reflected on her relationship with the late monarch. According to royal expert Christopher Anderson, Markle's commentary put a dampener on the royal transition. I think as far as Charles is concerned, specifically, he feels betrayed. I mean, he really was very fond of her, and I think he's somewhat bewildered. King Charles offered to walk Markle down the aisle when her dad Thomas Markle Sr. decided to cancel his attendance at the royal wedding. He also reportedly has a personal nickname for Markle. I don't think it threw her as much as it's thrown off Charles, and understandably so, because this is his son and daughter-in-law who said some pretty hurtful things. Because of the backlash Meghan had received, royal expert Neil Sean claimed, according to a good source, Meghan has hit back, basically claiming she couldn't win either way, so she decided to include her own personal tribute into the Variety piece. This was a little bit baffling to many people, because as we now know, Meghan and Harry didn't really seem fit or have time to visit the late monarch. When they were coming over to London to pop up to Balmoral at her own personal request, with or without said children. Similarly, a report has claimed that Buckingham Palace is in a state of high alarm over Harry's autobiography. It's in the Duke of Sussex's hands to transform Charles's current image from grief-stricken son and surprisingly impressive new king to one that reminds the world that he was a philanderer and allegedly a pompous, thin-skinned egomaniac who also happened to be on occasion a crap father. And even that could have been gradually assuaged if he hadn't then announced he was doing a memoir. I think the memoir was actually more breathtaking than the interview, frankly berating the world for the lack of privacy he's had, and now he can't stop giving interviews. It's amazing. He's so emotionally needy that he's been completely and utterly taken over by Meghan, and his whole personality has changed. It's a really sad thing to a great many people. Meghan seems to answer some huge need in Harry, and it seems like they're in a powerful codependency, and I do question how that will end.